Hey,
What's up, Timbo Slice? How we doing?
we're doing well tonight, man. How are you?
I'm good. Have you settled on Timbo Slice? Is that your permanent?
Timbo Slice it is, man. I've gotten zero complaints.
Okay.
It kind of rolls off the tongue and still uses my real name and no one else is using it.
All right. Well, there you go. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
What, you're gonna screwdriver?
Actually, I am driving some screws over here, brother. Good eye. See, I am reading a book. It is a wrestling trivia book that I inherited from the father-in-law. Turns out he's a mark. Didn't know that. So I knew that he watched a little bit of wrestling, but turns out he's actually a pretty big mark. He's going to deny it, though.
Is his name Mark?
It is not Mark, but it does begin with an M.
Okay.
Trivia right now,
book, huh? From what year
a
is it?
trivia book, dude.
Trivia book.
So this thing was produced in, and because there are some like questions that are, I don't know what you want to say, time sensitive or whatever, right? It was like, one of the questions is how many belts has Ric Flair won? Well, that all depends on when the book was produced, So this was copywritten in, you feel me? Copywritten in 2001. So,
Okay.
I don't think any of the questions that I'm going to ask you this evening have to do with, it's a time period before 2001, although there could be some Mania questions.
That Flair question that will be probably controversial.
For sure, yeah. I would actually be curious, like, I kind of want to ask you that question and see if you can nail it based on when the production of this book was, but we're not going to do that tonight. And I am going to pick out some WrestleMania-themed questions for this evening's episode. So this originally was supposed to be our episode 6, but we did, in fact, record episode 6 already, and it did not include WrestleMania. So what we're doing tonight, guys, this is going to be episode 6.5 or 6.2. This episode is going to be an adjunct to the previously recorded episode, but today we're super pumped because this is going to be the first annual WrestleMania edition of the Stiff Shot Podcast here. So again, guys, if you are not following yet, you're having a good time, you're having some laughs, give us a follow, like, share. We are on all of your favorite social media platforms, YouTube. We are on the TikTok. We are on X, Twitter, X, also in audio format on YouTube and audio format on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and several others out there. So look us up. It is at the Stiff Shot Pod. And we're going to jump into tonight's episode. Like I said, WrestleMania edition, because Big Papa Bump, you still got some jet lag there, bud?
A little bit.
Yeah, you might have done some partying out there. We did get a live. For those of you that follow us on Twitch, we do have a live episode. It was kind of a quick shebang there that we did. So if you haven't followed that or checked that out, yeah, definitely do that on Twitch. We did go live, for the first time here on the Stiff Shot Podcast while you were in your hotel room at Vegas. So we got a little view
that's right.
of
Almost forgot about that. Yeah.
of the strip there, man. Yeah, that was cool.
Did a live break, whatever you call it, for cards. Some exclusive WrestleMania Topps cards that you can only get at WWE Worlds. We actually still have some that are still sealed that I have to open. So stay tuned for those.
We got a bunch of different stuff on the docket for tonight. One thing I wanted to talk about was Scott's suitcase size. So when Scott came back from Mania, man, I made the mistake of offering to take your suitcase out of the trunk for you and walk it up to your front step, which, guys, literally it was like a 20-foot walk, right? It felt like Gotta had a body in there. I was like, dude, what the fuck do you have in here? This is the heaviest suit. And you know how, like, on the suitcase pockets, like, you can unzip it to give you like a little bit more pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really, it's not a zipper so you could stick new stuff in. It's just like an expansion zipper. Well, Gotta had every single one of those expansion zippers all wide open. That thing was bursting at the seams because it was just filled with gimmicks, man. I love it. You brought back all kinds of stuff from Vegas, so rightfully so. I didn't mind lifting it because I knew there was wrestling stuff in it. So I was like, okay, I'm all right with that. But yeah, man, tell us to give us the rundown. Give us a quick synopsis of how it went down, man. I know we did in a couple of episodes ago, we did talk about what you were planning to do. I know you went to WWE World several days. Guys, we also uploaded some shorts. So if you haven't checked those out on YouTube and TikTok, some shorts of Scott actually taking video footage in WWE World and Undertaker's casket. There was a ton of shit there that was pretty cool. A little trip down memory lane there for some of that memorabilia that they were showing off, and the Hulk Hogan. They had a huge section just on Hogan. some really rare stuff in there, man, like the board game I saw and like some really cool Hogan memorabilia. So yeah, man, give us the rundown. Maybe start with like, when you got there Thursday, whatever you want to do, man. Give us a
Yeah.
little rundown on how that went because we're all curious, man.
So there was a lot going on. So I flew in on Wednesday, got in, checked into my hotel room, which was at the Luxor, which if you don't know, that is the giant black pyramid over there on the south end of the Las Vegas Strip, very close to T-Mobile Arena, which hosted Raw and SmackDown, and very close walking distance to Dolby Live, which hosted the Kill Tony comedy special, as well as the Hall of Fame featuring Stephanie McMahon and AJ Styles, and connected to the Mandalay Bay, which has like a tunnel that leads you to Allegiant Stadium, which is where WrestleMania's Night 1 and Night 2 were. But anyway, so I checked into my hotel. It's cool. They have like a little wrestling ring, a mini wrestling ring set up there. A lot of gimmicks going on at that hotel as it was. They were actually in the process of setting up all this like fence cage to make it look like you're inside of a steel cage, title belt. This was the place that actually had, you could buy for like $85. You could buy one of these. It's like a fanny pack championship belt with a pouch in it that when you buy it, they fill that pouch up with tequila. And that pouch comes with like, like when you're hiking, you have that book bag and you got the little gimmick to your mouth if you want to take a sip of water. Well, that's what this thing had. It had all of that. And it was designed like a championship belt. So I did not buy the belt. My buddy that I met with there, though, he did get the belt. So I get to my hotel room, the magazine that, you go to a hotel room, there's usually always like a gimmick magazine in every hotel room, wherever you stay. Well, that magazine had Roman Reigns and CM Punk on the cover. Unfortunately, I didn't get to take it home as a souvenir, which is a bummer. But anyway, but on Wednesday, there was a trivia contest at the Beer Park in Las Vegas, which is directly across the street from the Bellagio Fountains, which is pretty cool. It was hosted by none other than former Tough Enough / hardcore champion Mayhem. So got to meet him, take some photos with him. I had a great time there. Had to have some quality beers there. And got to do some trivia there. Did not win, fortunately. I think finished in the top 3, but not enough to like win a prize. I don't know. I was throwing it back that day. Yeah, I would say like at least like a dozen other teams. I was solo though. I didn't have like a partner. So like, sometimes 2 minds are better than
wow.
But
For sure.
Anyway,
4 minds are even better.
so I think when I came back, then I went to the hotel bar, checked that out a little bit, and then went off to bed and then got ready for Thursday. And Thursday at my hotel was a signing with, at the time, United States Women's Champion Julia, along with her like sidekick manager, Kiana James. We're doing an autograph,
Cool.
photo op, a meet and greet. So got my picture with them. They were really cool. And then after that, I think I got ready for WWE World, got to go check that out. It was cool. Thursday's the first day, so it's not exactly like the busiest day. So you catch like some wrestlers like going around. I know Ice Show Speed was going around, streaming, going to different activities. Dan Housen was being followed around by camera. He had like his own little station. So he was taking pictures with things and showcasing that. So it was cool checking out that. I got to try Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins just launched like a brand new like coffee company. So I got to check out that and sample some coffees, some coffee flavors you wouldn't expect, like a watermelon strawberry coffee, which actually wasn't bad. Key lime coffee. I don't think I like that one too much, but there was like a maple pancake one. That one was pretty fire. But yeah, I got to try some of that. So that was cool. And I got to be right there when the Miz was sampling it. I was basically like right next to the Miz. I think if you go check our socials, you can kind of see a snippet of that. So a lot going on at WWE World. There's also the Hulk Hogan exhibit, which was really cool. So, and it's just like everything through Hogan's career. Like you saw, there's the Thunder Lip statue and like the robe he wore on the Rocky 3 set. You got to see his actual boots from, I think it was WrestleMania 3. I don't want to get it mixed up because over at WrestleCon, they had, I think, Hulk Hogan's boots from actual WrestleMania 1. So it's funny to see his boots in 2 different spots.
Wow.
But when it comes to Hogan, they had a cool thing. They had like his motorcycle when he was with the NWO. There was a Monday Nitro setup where you could like take a picture basically in front of the Monday Nitro stage.
That's cool.
They had it, honestly, it brought me back to when I was a kid. They had like the Hulk Hogan bedroom set, man, which like with the Hulk Hogan pillows and everything.
Yeah,
like,
man, I saw that in your video, dude. I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in ages.
And I know that LJN workout set. I know you have that. Or did you used to have it? The LJN workout set, or like the wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan workout set. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Came with the headband.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And those stupid little weights, right? Didn't come with that.
yeah.
Yeah, the weight.
So it's cool checking out that exhibit.
Yeah.
They had one thing I didn't get a chance to do. The line was too long, but the ESPN booth had a thing where you could like basically jump off the top rope, and when you're midair, they take a picture of you, and then they turn that picture into a trading card, like a one-of-one card. I kind of wish I would have spent
Whoa.
the time to do that, but it was cool. They also had things like make your own Funko Pops of yourself, and they had a wrestling
Wow.
room set up. They had matches going on with like lower level NXT talent, so on and so forth. When I went on the Saturday, the Undertaker for his podcast was interviewing John Cena right there in the ring in front of me. And I know at one point, maybe
Damn,
on the
dude.
Friday, Logan Paul was in the ring and he's actually interviewing Stephen A. Smith.
All right. Well,
What was
nobody
going
cares
on in
about it.
WWE World? Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I was just saying nobody cares about Logan Paul. But cool about Taker, that's pretty dope. Were there lines for like I know you said getting into to the Hogan exhibit, there were lines, but were there lines for this other stuff where you like jump off the top rope?
You're probably like likely waiting at least like 45 minutes, if not longer, just to do like a 30-second walkout to whatever theme you pick, which just touching on that, stay tuned. I'm hoping I can somehow get my footage of the Fanatics games last year, me as Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stay tuned. I'm really hoping you get that footage. And when I get it, boom, it'll be an exclusive. So make sure you're subscribed and we'll show that up here. But I'm crossing my fingers that I get that tape that I've been waiting on since last June. But the biggest lines, though, were the superstar autographs and superstar photo ops, the meet and greets.
Scott, let me ask you, man. So that whole thing was controlled, right? So anybody who bought an autograph, bought a meet and greet, there was a shitload of money, first of all, but it's a topic for another time. But they were limited, right? Because there were a lot some of them sold out like right away, dude. Like they went through them. So there was inventory, I guess, they had autograph inventory and then they had meet and greet inventory. Or photo op, I should say, inventory. So in your estimation, when you were there, what were those lines like? Like, could you notice that, okay, like,
Yeah, so I would say like this company that they've hired, they do like pretty much every major like Comic-Con and everything. And I'll say like when it comes to, I can't really speak for the photo op. I think more people do the photo ops, but I think they have more photo ops available. Photo ops, I think,
oh,
seem to go
interesting.
quicker for the talent than it would in autograph. Because with the photo ops, I guess you just like, you walk up, you take the photo, you can say like a thing here and there, whatever, and then it's boom on to the next. When it comes to the autograph line, it's like, yeah, you get there, but then you gotta like let them know, okay, I want it in this color and I want it in this corner of the photo or whatever, like for them to sign. So there's a little bit more detailed in it. And then like usually, sometimes the talent, maybe they see something that like, oh my God, like this exists, or I haven't seen this in like 20 years. So brings them back a little bit. So, but I will say, I
That's
want to
cool.
say all the autograph sessions were, if they were sold out, I would say that it was like only an hour time frame. The more major names might have been 2 hours. I can tell you when I met Stone Cold Steve Austin, whatever time frame it was, I was towards the end of the line because the autograph line, like you just had to get there in that window. So because I had other stuff to
Okay.
do, boom, I get there in that window. But I was like probably the last like 10 people. And like based on the time frame they had, I'm like, they're pretty much ending like to the time they said. So there was a cool Tops booth at WWE World where you walk in and it basically shows the history of wrestling trading cards, starting with like, I don't know, man. I sent you the video. We probably posted it.
Yeah.
Maybe like George Hackenschmidt on a card. I don't know. But it showed the evolution of the trading card throughout the years. And then if you waited in this one area, you got to do get what's called a digital card. And as long as you signed up for like the Fanatics Collect, I think it is, app, and showed them that, you were eligible to receive a digital card. So you waited in there, complete random, you would get a digital card. So like say, I think the person in front of me, they were like, oh, you got Dominic Mysterio. Person before me maybe got John Cena. Okay, cool. So they got cool cards. And then like the card that you have automatically goes into your app, into your wallet in your app. And then you can keep it there digitally. It's like stashed at some warehouse in like Oregon, and you can select to sell it and maybe somebody else buys it. It'll tell you like the approximate worth, or you can mail it to yourself, or you can just keep it there. It's in your digital wallet, right? When I went up, lights start flashing. They were like, your card is, they're like, it's a Chase. And then they're like, oh, you got an autograph. And then they show, and it was at the time, current women's tag team champion Lash Legend autograph. So I opted to have that sent to me. I should be getting it this week. When I do, I will show it to the stiff shot universe over here. But that was cool. So to win a Chase autograph just for just waiting in a line, didn't cost anything. And then when you left there, as long as you did their little survey, like a 3-question survey, they would hand you a pack of exclusive WrestleMania top cards that you can only get at WWE World. And I know live from Vegas, we did a little break and I showed some there. Spoiler alert, I do still have some more that are still unopened that we will do at some point. I'm trying to think of what else there was at WWE World. There's also, it's kind of separate from WWE World. It's the WWE Superstore. Now, the cool thing they do about the Superstore is you don't have to actually buy a ticket to WWE World for the admission to get into the Superstore. So the Superstore is just a massive, massive merch area. You name it, it's there. Every single WrestleMania tumbler, WrestleMania keychain, WrestleMania pin.
They're not going to charge you to get in there because they want you to buy all the gimmicks.
You're going to be dropping a lot of loot in there. And that's usually the first
right.
I did pick up one shirt in there. WWE recently just did a deal with Roots of Fight. If you know Roots of Fight, if you know, you know.
Yo, love Roots of Fight.
So I decided to get, it's an Undertaker shirt from Roots of Fight there. So I decided to drop, it's probably in the neighborhood of like $50. But yeah, I was like,
they're not cheap, man. They're definitely not cheap.
I'll tell you the least visited kiosk area was definitely the WrestleMania 43 Saudi. Like, I think they were trying to get people to like either sign up or like, I don't know what they were doing. Cause like one of the other things they had though was the new Club WWE that they're trying to promote. So they had a little booth there outside of that.
Sign up for what? For Saudi Arabia? Are they trying to get you to book your
I think they're trying to like,
already?
Get people to sign up, maybe to get like first exclusive tickets, maybe, or something like that. But every time I walked by, there was no line. There was like, there maybe be 3 people like with like iPads. And I'm thinking they're like a Vegas showgirl. Like when I walk by, they're going to be like, hey, and like try to get me to, but they weren't really making the effort. So I just kept walking.
And to that point, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? Obviously, there's still, and we mentioned on last week's episode, this is no political discussions, right? But, there is a war going on right now, because there's a shitload of planning that goes into Manias, obviously, and months of planning. So, when do they say, hey, man, we got to pull the plug on this,
They just announced Night of Champions, which I think is in 2 months. That'll be in Saudi.
Get the fuck out. Really?
You didn't know that, huh? Yeah. So there's your answer there.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Ballsy.
I want to say that's June 27th, but I could be wrong. I don't even know if that's a Saturday or whatever, but
okay.
I do believe it's the end.
Well, shit. If that's going to happen, then I would guess that Mania is going to happen.
Yeah. So other things at World, I know they had like things set up for like kids to play with. There was a Danhausen exhibit where you actually could like take a picture inside that big wooden crate that he arrived in at the Elimination Chamber. They had a line set up where you can get your face painted like Danhausen. Yeah. Buy a mixed drink with Wheatley, and they had like Stone Cold's beers available. I did get one of those while I was there, and just things like that. But that pretty much was it for WWE World.
WrestleCon, man. I know a lot of our listeners are old school fans. In fact, a vast majority, right? So, like, what was going on at WrestleCon, man? Any cool appearances there? I know that whole, like, when I looked at the roster, it was stacked, but I feel like it was a lot of indie guys. Like I there were some big names, no doubt about it. And you can smarten us up on that. But, I feel like it wasn't too star-studded this year. But yeah, man, did you see anybody that stood out? Anybody cool there? Any good stories from WrestleCon?
Yeah, I only went to WrestleCon on Friday. Shout out to my boy Tommy who hooked me up so I didn't have to worry about admission over at Zombie Sailor. So if you're looking for a figure,
brother,
he's your guy. When I walked into that casino, actually, it's real weird. I was walking and I looked behind me and it's Will Ospreay, who was probably one of the bigger names that was at this convention. He's right behind me with Alex Windsor, his girlfriend, both current AEW talents.
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't like an overwhelming big name. Like I would say like biggest names were probably like, Ric Flair was there. Mick Foley was there. More recent.
Interesting stories coming out about Flair too, man. I don't know if you read any of those.
Yeah, I did. Braun Strowman, more recent name, pretty big. I mean, and then like I said, Ospreay being there and Okada was there as well. That was like one of the more biggest names. A lot of current AEW talent there, some current TNA talent. And then you had your legends, like your ECW legends, like Masato Tanaka was there. I do believe RVD was there. I don't remember seeing him on the day I went, but yeah, I just got to like kind of walk around and kind of just like check everybody. Did get a couple autographs there. I met Al Snow. I needed his autograph on a promo. I'll do a little show and tell in a minute, and then I had to meet Heath Slater, so I got to talk to him for a little bit. But outside of that, I was just kind of just like checking it out, and then I didn't have to worry about the admission, so I figured, let me go check it out. And yeah, Saturday for me, it was WWE World, Eddie McMahon. That would be my last day at WWE World, and then it was all about getting ready to go to Stadium Swim, giant pool party, watch it on 147 big screen TV. Got to watch WrestleMania Night 1. That's the WrestleMania apparently the internet's gone crazy about, and was like, there's too many ads. This night sucked, whatever. I'm going to tell you, I had the time of my life. I was drinking these drinks called Life Waters, which is like coconut rum with coconut something else, and they're absolutely delicious. We had to reach like a $500 food and beverage credit, and apparently we either to the T or a dollar short. Bob Barker would be proud. So we did not go over and have to pay any extra. We like used exactly the right amount. It was perfect. But yeah, everybody's complaining about the ad breaks, I guess, between all the matches. But let me tell you, at Stadium Swim, between every match, like we don't have to worry about the ads. They mute the broadcast. They got a DJ down there. They're playing. It's just a party, man. We had a great time at that. And just so happens, I look down. We're like on this like third tier balcony where there's pools. And I looked down during one of the matches, and I was like, oh, well, that's Joe Hendry. So, like, I waited till like that match was over and then went down and, took a picture. Joe Hendry was down there along with Leon Slater, who I believe is the current X Division champion over at TNA, as well as Pete Dunne. So I got to take a picture with them three because, they were just chilling, just watching the show. So
Pete Dunne still under contract?
Man, Tim, you're so behind the 8 ball, man. Pete Dunne right now.
Man, see, I'm an old school guy.
I believe he produced his matches, but man, he's one of the Americanos. He's one of those under the gimmick.
Oh, see, then don't get mad at me for that, Gata. Come on, bro. He's under a mask. How am I supposed to know?
I think his name is Bravo, but I could be wrong. I don't know. If that was a trivia question, I'd probably get it wrong. I think he's Bravo Americano, but
Bravo Americano. That sounds like the coffee I drank this morning.
I do want to touch on that. That was a setting. They were there. They were cool as can be. Took a picture with them. Thanked them very much. With everything that's going on online, let me just tell everybody out there, do not bother these people at the hotel, okay? I'll tell you, when I flew in, there were people at baggage claim, like, ready to sign stuff.
Bad.
Like, it's just the wrong atmosphere. I did get to meet a couple people, and yes, I saw a lot of wrestlers. I saw Carmelo Hayes on the strip, not at the hotel, on the strip. He was real cool. Took a picture with him, thanked him, told him to enjoy Vegas, and then I just kept it moving. I'm not gonna bother this guy with like a 20-minute story or anything. Got to see Royce Keys / Powerhouse Hobbs. Got to see him in the casino, not in the lobby of the casino. That casino, that MGM Grand, the one that's been all over TMZ and everything, where you see CM Punk smack him with the phone. I can't tell you right now, that guy deserved every bit of that. So I just hope WWE, they beefing up the security for them. And it's, if they want to stop and sign, they want to stop and sign. That's cool. That's one thing. But as fans, we gotta kind of respect some boundaries here. It just takes a couple bad fans to ruin it for everybody. But yeah, I even saw George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. He was walking around the casino as well. So
that guy was drinking like a fish at Mania, bro. Did you see that guy drinking at Mania?
He was throwing both them back. Nights. He was throwing them back. But anyway, so then Stadium Swim, and I, got to enjoy Vegas a little bit. And then Sunday was WrestleMania day, going to it live. Super dope. I was worried about getting to my seat in time because it was getting close to showtime. I go to find my section. There's no person there. I open the curtain. I'm like, what the hell? This is roped off. And I find the closest person at Allegiant Stadium. I was like, hey, what's up with this? I'm like, this. I show him my
wait. So your section where your seat was blocked off?
Yeah. So I forget exactly what number it was. Maybe 132, something like that. So it was blocked off. So I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? I'm like, Obafemi and Brock Lesnar are going to start in 5 minutes. I need to get to my seat, and I probably need to get a beverage before I get in there. So I'm like, okay, they're like, you need to go over to section blah, 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 and you go to that kiosk and get yourself a new ticket. And first thing that pops in my head, I was like, this is an upgrade, right? you're not
A
going to give me
new
this. Like, I
ticket?
got to get something better, right? So I go, I get my new section, and first thing I look at is like, ooh, club access. Now, everybody complains about WrestleMania ticket prices. I did the Austin 316 special for 31.6% off. So my initial ticket I paid for was around $200, between like 200 and like 215, I think, for that ticket, which was lower level, lower bowl, 100 level, right? But no club access. My new one, boom, they upgrade me. It says club access. They're telling me, they were like, we only have a couple left. They were like, pick the seat number. And I'm like, well, I'll just go seat number 16 because whatever, I bought my ticket on 316 day. Let me go with 16. And it says row 1 though. So when I get to the lower bowl, I am front row of the lower bowl. So I was like, okay, this is sick. And I got the club access. I don't have to, which club access just tells you you get to go to an indoor air conditioned area. You don't have to worry about long lines for beer or long lines for bathrooms or long lines for merchandise, because in the exclusive lounge area, they have all that. They have all these different food stations, drink stations, full bars. Like, so you got to take care of stuff real quick and then like get back to your seat. And it just so happened my seat ended up being, you watched WrestleMania, there is a little stage set up with Corey Graves and Big E and Joe Tessitore, where they would like, they would talk between the matches. And basically I was like right behind them. Like I was so close that like kids that were sitting near me were
Wow.
like handing their hats to Big E to be like, Big E, can you sign this? Like that's how close we were. So,
Wow,
and
dude.
then that's what was in front of me to the right. In front of me to the left were the blimps. There was a Club WWE blimp, a Danhausen blimp, and a
Right, so the
Sicard blimp.
Danhausen blimp, yep.
And then directly in front of me between the two, at first I just saw like a black tablecloth. Well, it just so happened that happened to be underneath that black tablecloth was about 20 ladders for the ladder match that they would just like, as soon as like the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar match was ending, maybe we put the film up, I don't know, but I took a film of it, and it was just all the handlers just getting those ladders to the ring, like during those commercial breaks, to have all the ladders set up for the ladder match. So it's cool that that was all happening right in front of me.
Yeah, bro, so I was gonna ask that actually too, man, because like, you mentioned night 1 and night 2 was a bit of the same thing, was those long commercial breaks. The only thing I could think of while I was sitting here was, okay, they must be, like, setting up either the entrances or, in the case of a ladder match, right, where they gotta set the gimmicks up with. Could you tell when you guys were on a commercial break in the live stadium?
Yeah, so pretty much you could. I mean, when they did the first commercial break after like, so when the ladder match, right, it had 6 guys in it. And I think after like the second entrance, they did a commercial. And when they did a commercial, everybody booed. But I was like,
Nice,
this is a
dude. We
perfect
did it
time for
home
me to
too.
go get a beer. But it was just interesting. It was cool to see like them just like hustle with all the ladders in front of me. It was just kind of like more of a behind the scenes thing to witness.
Those guys are
Later
good,
on
man.
in
Honestly, they don't get enough credit, dude. Those stage people, and I'm sure they had a shitload of them for Mania, right? Because like, some of those entrances were just super intricate, like they are every year, right? Like that's what we love about Mania is the fact that they pull out all the stops between the pyro. One year a guy got the pyroed in his I don't know what, and he like in the it's bad enough, right? The guy was in like the nosebleeds and like the 300s
yeah,
section
WrestleMania
or whatever, and
24,
then the fireworks go off. It was like yeah, like the Undertaker's win, I think it was, right?
yeah.
And then the guy got hit with a firework. I'm pretty devastating, man. It's like, oh, let me pay a shitload of money for the seat. I'm gonna sit in the nosebleeds and I'm gonna get hit with a firework. Like, wow. Thanks WWE. But I don't know where I was going with that, man. But anyway, so yeah, the commercial breaks. There we go. So so it sounds like, yes, Scott, you're telling us that during the times of the commercial breaks, it was because they were setting something up for the upcoming match,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. And then also with the blimps, they had the blimps come out, and then like the blimps were all holding like what looked like a golden ticket, which I think was just like ads for Club WWE. But they would like drop them off. Like they're supposed to drop like one at
A
a time for
golden
like a fan
ticket.
to get. But at one point, like they all dropped at once, and then fans were like rushing on the floor to like grab them all. And then there's one guy controlling the blimp, right? But at one point, you saw the blimp kind of, I haven't watched it back on TV yet, but the blimp is like flying like lower and lower and lower. And it's like, it's getting like closer to where like fans can almost like touch it. But at one point, And this is like right before the main event. And it was literally during when Big E was talking on that stage. And you can kind of hear like, I know live, I don't know if you hear it on TV, but on live, you heard the crowd go up, and it was like, dude, that fan, the blimp definitely like hit a fan. Now it's a blimp. It's whatever. It's all air, right? But the bottom, I'm sure there's like this metal box. So maybe it hit somebody, maybe it didn't, but it was enough for the crowd to go, oh shit, like that wasn't supposed to happen. Kind of like last year when Stone Cold ran the ATV into a can. Anyway, overall experience of being there live at WrestleMania, I thought it was awesome. If you want to ask me my top 3 moments that, to me,
What were your top 3 moments, Gotta?
I'll tell you. In no particular order, I will say seeing Trick Williams win the U.S. title. Initially, I wanted to see his entrance. And I mean, that freaking robe or jacket, whatever he had on that he came out with that was longer than a CVS receipt was
Oh
pretty
my
freaking
God,
cool.
dude. Yeah,
But yeah, I was very, very stoked for him to win. Got to see him hug his parents after the match. Got me a little emotional watching that. Other moment definitely got emotional for was, I'll just say both entrances. The main event, Roman Reigns' entrance, with the drums and the piano and the acapella singer. And then he came back out to the original head of the table theme, which he hasn't used since he was last Universal Champion or Undisputed Universal Champion. So he hasn't used that theme in 2 years. And that's when I just knew, I was like, oh, it's over for CM Punk. But it was cool, man. I was like, it's fucking WrestleMania. I was like, yeah, and that's like when you feel it in there, but that's when you like, bro, that's like,
feel the electricity,
man.
brother.
And you're like, it was a really cool entrance, man, to experience live. And right after that, then I was like, I said what I said about Punk, but then Punk came out with his Ring of Honor AFI theme, starting it off, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So, and they had a
But how'd you know that he wasn't using the AFI theme that he was going to go over, brother? How
Well,
it could
I
have
don't
been
know.
just.
I was always
right?
thinking it was going to be Reigns, but anyway. And their match was a classic. They said it went 35 minutes. Did not, to me, at all feel like it went too long. That is long in this day and age for a wrestling match, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was a great match. And like when you look at it in hindsight, possibly the best WrestleMania main event. I'll tell you, not for anything else. No interference. No interference. Nobody interfered in that match. It was Mano
Ooh, good
Yano.
point. Yeah, yeah.
The only
Good
big
point.
thing I guess people will critique was the fact that he used this Roman used the steel steps on Punk blatantly right in front of the referee. But what's a referee going to do in 2026? Disqualify the main event of WrestleMania?
Turn the other
I don't think
cheek.
so. I don't think so. It's happened in the past, but I want to say like WrestleMania 8, but not in this day and age. What was my other moment? I had another moment. Trick Williams.
You had a third.
Entrances.
I know you had a third. Trick Williams. Yeah.
I guess it wasn't that important to me if I can't remember. The Danhausen, John Cena.
I'm sure you'll remember.
It wasn't that though.
How did that go over live? Because
God,
I
how could
feel like
forget?
that was
Like monumental. Like Brock Lesnar taking off the boots, man, and taking off the gloves. Like I don't know how I could forget that, but that was that's a moment. That's something to be. I feel like it's ironic. I don't fly to wrestling shows very much, but I was there at Allegiant Stadium in 2021 when Brock Lesnar made his return. So, and he returned EF5. John Cena confronted Roman Reigns. And then here it would be the same stadium almost 5 years later where he takes the boots off. So definitely a
craziness,
big moment to be a
man.
part of.
For sure. And based on all accounts, this was not planned. This was not scripted. Certainly, appeared from where I was sitting that Paul Heyman was taken way off guard, dude. Speaking of getting emotional, Heyman got emotional there, man, right in the moment. So I feel
he deservedly
like,
so can be emotional, but I don't believe that he would not have known that was going to happen.
dude, I heard, and whatever, take this with a grain of salt. It's, it's the stupid dirt sheets, but that when Brock came to the back, Triple H was livid.
Okay, well,
I
you're
mean,
believing in the dirt
screaming bloody
everybody
murder.
knows Tim
Well, yeah,
believed the screw job was a work, by the way. So anyway,
I do. I'll stand by that one. It's wrestling. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still on the fence. Don't tell me. Oh, yeah. That's a huge topic right there that you're touching on there, Big Papa Bomb, brother.
but yeah, overall, just had a fun time. My bank account might say otherwise. My bank account will tell you I had a good time. I have not looked at my bank account yet, and it's still like been a week later. I don't want to look at it. I'm
Don't do it.
scared to look at it.
Don't look at the bank
I
account. Wait until your next paycheck hits, and
No,
then look
I
at
did
your
get my
bank
next
account.
paycheck already. I did. I still don't want to look at it. Maybe I'll wait for the
Okay.
next paycheck.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Wait for the next one after that.
I compared
Debauchery, brother.
I compared my trip to I felt like my bank account was like a broken faucet that I just couldn't fix. That's what I attributed.
Guess what?
to
It was.
I
Dude, did you get a
I
look at
know
that
it was a
burger,
Wagyu
brother?
beef patty with chicken tender in the
Oh my God.
sausage, and I think coleslaw, mac and cheese, French
Oh.
fries.
Yo,
Something
that
else
thing
on it.
look I mean, it looked criminal, right? Producer lady, maybe you could throw up an image here on what the hell this burger looked like, because I've never seen anything like it. Like, I think it had fries in there too, man, or something. It was like 2
Yeah.
patties and, the slaw that you're talking about and everything, man. Oh my God.
I'll tell you though, also in Vegas on Fremont Street, they have the Heart Attack Grill, which I did not go to, but apparently if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get to eat there for free. But
Get the
you
hell
go
out.
there, you
No.
weigh yourself before you go in. It's something weird, man. I did not do it though.
Wow. Oh my God. So if you're 350 pounds, you get to eat for free. Then you get to eat a fully stacked up 20 cheeseburger thing to get to 400. I did want to talk a little food because there was definitely some discussion on food. There was a tomahawk ribeye. Now, I'm a ribeye guy through and through. Like, I don't know what people like for steak, man, but I am 100% a ribeye guy. And they had a tomahawk ribeye there where it had WrestleMania in the bone. And it right in the bone, right down to the bone. So that thing was, first I heard $500.
Yes.
Then I heard 150. But I think that like the person that was using the 500 was saying, "Hey, it's $500 for a family of 4, or whatever the hell that math is, a family of 3.5, whatever." It was basically saying like, "Oh, but what family is going to all have tomahawk ribeyes?" Like I've never been out to a restaurant where like, it was a family of 4 and every one of them was eating a tomahawk ribeye. So I don't know, man. Initially, I read where it was 500, but I don't think that's true. I think it was like 149 or whatever.
Yeah, it was definitely lower than that. I don't remember the exact price.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't really make it out of that club lounge access I had. They didn't have that in there. So you probably had to go to like one of the main kiosks to find that tomahawk steak or that burger. But I didn't really make it out of there.
But see, that's like weird to me because you'd think a tomahawk ribeye would be like a club level food, right? Like you'd think that would be like something on the menu in the club level. So that's an interesting fact there. Any other food items there, Scott, that you were seeing that like wrestling themed food items besides the burger? Well, I think it was called the 3-count burger.
As I touched on earlier with Trish Stratus and Lita, Trish Stratus actually had a pop-up shop, basically like in walking distance from my casino without even going outside. And I had like a nice little flatbread with like hot honey and pepperoni. And then she's got drinks that are all the gimmick named after wrestlers. So I was drinking the Hardcore Country named after none other than Mickey James, which was a delicious
Hardcore Country.
That'll be the soundbite. As far as like my WWE World though, my main excursions though, of course, were like getting autographs and stuff. Can I do my show and tell now? Is that all right, Timbo?
Oh man, yeah. I'd love to see some. I know you came there with a bunch of gimmicks to get signed, right? Because you knew who you were gonna see. So, yeah, for our audience here, throw up some of these promos that you got, man.
So of course, a big promo head, right? Went ahead and got this original promo signed by Al Snow at WrestleCon. I got to talk to him for a little bit.
Did that earlier.
No inscription, just his name. Thought about having him write how many times he won the hardcore title, but he probably doesn't even know how many times he won it. It's probably like 30 something. But yeah, I got that done. The original Nexus, the NXT Season 1 rookies, got Heath Slater there to sign it. So the only person left is one Brian Danielson / Daniel Bryan, but I have every other member of Nexus signature on that. So that's a cool little piece I got going on.
Some of those guys are tough to get. Skip Sheffield, he doesn't sign like that.
He doesn't do a lot of those, but I also think if he does anything, he really doesn't sign outside of Ryback. But when I got him to sign Skip Sheffield, he was more than happy to do it for me. So,
and Michael Tarver too, bro.
Well, Tarver was actually recent. That was actually this year. That was actually only a month ago. maybe 6 weeks ago at the
Oh,
big
wow.
event. Next up, I believe this was on the Friday. I don't know, Thursday or Friday, one of the days. Got this original promo signed by The Undertaker. Figured purple was the way to go on the purple background. Got that original one
Dude,
signed.
that's sick. Did they supply that purple marker for you?
Yeah, so I never bring the marker. Sometimes I bring markers with me, but just in case. But they know better than anybody. And I will say, like, Fanatics, like, I know a lot of people give them a bad rap for the prices and everything. You won't ever hear me say a bad thing about Fanatics. But the guys, like, before they give the marker to the person, so in this case, Undertaker, when I tell them the color, they test it. They test it on, like, a blank, like, little gimmick paper or whatever
Whoa.
to make sure it's not, like, dried out or anything, or if they got to find another one of the same color. So they do test it out for you, which is cool. So yeah, that was my Undertaker. And then the next day, Shawn Michaels I got to meet. So cool one here. This is already signed by, we have an earlier episode or a short where we talk about whose dad didn't love Big Daddy Cool Diesel, right? Well, he had already signed that and had to get Shawn Michaels to go ahead and complete that right there. So, and Shawn Michaels was as cool as can be. I have to talk him for a little bit. He's like, you can never go wrong with the promotional 8x10s, he goes, which he's right. Because then I also had to get that signed. I didn't even really know. I think I knew I was going to get this color, but I think that color pops really good on it. This metallic light blue. So I got that one as well.
Wow, that's a first. I've never seen that color.
Yeah. And this one with the championship belt from 1996.
Oh, I thought I saw that up on your thing up there, man. Your back.
Well, that's where I took it down from. It's gonna be right there next to the Shawn Michaels belt.
Nice.
It's everyone's like next to the title they hold. Anyway, this is a photo I got with Kathy Kelly, backstage interviewer / hopefully future judge at the Fanatics games. So I got to meet her, as well as none other than Stephanie McMahon. A rare photo op opportunity, had to take advantage of that. Wish I could have got an autograph, but her autographs were sold out. Her photo ops were not, so I opted on the photo op. So got that photo with Stephanie McMahon.
Look at that, man.
Last but not least, signed by none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then, of course,
And that's stuff not online.
but I had to get this sign completed. And when he saw this, I mean, he put his hand over Hulk. He was like, oh, man. He's like, oh. And then he was happy to sign it. And then my plan
What are you saying? He marked out for the photo?
Just kind of like when it got in front of him, he was just like, he put his hand down like on top of Hulk and he was like, oh, goddamn, man. So it kind of touched him a little bit, because, and my plan is to somehow encase this into a frame.
That's pretty cool.
Like with these two beers. You got the Broken Skull 316 IPA. And you got the Hulk Hogan Real American Hulkamania Forever can. So my plan is to somehow do it up,
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, man. Congrats on getting that wet rag sign there, right? That's a running joke here for whatever it is, 4 episodes. But yeah, man, I can actually see it now. So that is freaking awesome. Definitely a couple of legends there. That was a big moment. That was a big WrestleMania moment on this special edition of the Stiff Shot podcast. You're watching the WrestleMania edition here, guys. Scott, is that concluding your show and tell for this week? We're running up against time. We do, however, have time for a little WrestleMania trivia. So at the start of the show, I kind of flashed this gem here. This is an old wrestling trivia book here that I actually inherited. And as we know, Big Papa Bump, Scott Gotta, is the trivia master. He did not win Maven's trivia, as we covered earlier in the evening, but damn, he was close. What was it? Third, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Place. Something like that, but definitely in the top 3 there, as always. And you were flying solo too, man. So you know what? We can't hold that against you. All right. There was teams there. There was a bunch of other
you don't
teams.
Gotta make excuses for me. It's okay.
No, you know what? I'm gonna make an excuse for you, man. All right, because you are the trivia guru. You are the trivia master. You're the champion, brother. You got the strap right behind you, man. So you know what? I'm not buying it. You were flying solo. Any other of those jabronis, if they were running solo, they would not have gotten as high as third place. But I digress. Tonight, guys, we're rolling out. I mean, this is a gem of a book here. I don't know who the hell this author is. Brendan O'Neill.
Who's on the cover of that book?
We have, so we have Flying Brian Pillman And Scott, I might need your help here. And it's tough because the ring rope is in the way, but let me hold this up.
Oh, that's got to be Flair,
So
right?
definitely, dude, I don't think
Is
so.
that
Look at,
not Flair? I mean, I don't have it in front of me. Is it Wildfire Tommy Rich?
dude, I'm thinking that that may be more like it. Wildfire Tommy Rich. I'm reading the back here to see if it gives away any clues to this thing here. The
I
human
mean,
orchid, Gorgeous George. No, that's not going to help.
that's definitely
Human orchid.
Flying
Wow.
Brian. That's not like that's before Hollywood Blondes, right?
Hollywood Blondes. Yeah, yeah. That was pre
Okay.
Hollywood Blondes.
Blondes, I think, were feuding with Flair and Anderson.
Okay. I don't know, bro. I don't think that that is with that those wrist straps, dude. Come on, bro. Flair never had those wrist straps there.
Knee pads or no knee
My
pads?
knowledge.
Or we can't tell if there's knee pads.
Cuts it off right before the knee pads.
Okay.
Son of a gun, dude. But it does look like I just had another guy in my head too. Wildfire Tommy Rich, or I mean, this could just be like a random jobber, and we're trying to like guess what star it is. I don't know why you put a jobber on the cover of your book, but that's a story for another time, I guess.
Is
Hey,
it
Barry Windham.
Is it Playboy Buddy Rose?
Bar
before
Windham?
the weight gain? Bar Wyndham? I mean, maybe, but I don't
Bar
know.
Windham.
Anyway,
No, it doesn't
what's
look
the
like
real
him.
question?
All right, the mystery will continue there. The point of this is this. We were going to do some trivia here. So I have some questions selected. I was actually figuring them out on the fly while we were doing this WrestleMania special here. But I figured no WrestleMania special would be complete without doing a quick little quiz. Now, this is a straight shoot, guys. I did not give Scott a heads up on any of this. So these are the first time that Scott's hearing these questions. I mean, I really had to sift through this book because this dude, I'm trying to find some stuff to kind of trip him up a little bit here. So I did have to do some digging for that. The book's interesting. It basically, there's several sections in the book. There's an old school section. I'm talking about like old school back to like 1940, bro. 1940.
Okay.
I mean, we got Lou Thez questions in here. Frank Gotch, brother. Okay. A grappler, a hooker, a shooter, a tricker. I don't know what a tricker is, but yeah, you got Barney Bernard in here. I don't even know who the hell that is. Yo, Haystacks Calhoun, our buddy.
I'm waiting for you to say Ed Strangler Lewis over here.
I did come across Ed Strangler Lewis. Dude, so like I think we should roll this book out every episode, at least do like 5 questions, a quickie job. And, we can pull some from the old school category. Yeah, we're not going to repeat that. And there's an international category. We have a name game category. So, and you know what I found out by doing this is that I'm the guru of real names. Okay. Like and I didn't even realize it at the time, but like, that was my shtick, man. That was my gig back in the day, is like, I knew everybody's real name. I mean, I'm talking like pre-internet, man. Now it's like, okay, it's real easy to look stuff up. But back in the day, man, I knew what was going on. So I'm going through these real name questions. I'm crushing it, dude. Crushing it on these real name questions. And funny, going back to last week's episode, actually going back to the half episode before this, since we're on 2.0 or whatever we are here for this WrestleMania special, but Rikishi was known as what masked wrestler in 1997? And we covered this.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say this. You aren't giving me this one, are you? Well, the answer is the Sultan.
No, I'm not giving you. Correct. So when we were discussing Bob Backlund, you're showing off on your show and tell in this past episode, the Sultan was with Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik. So I kind of popped for that when I came across that. There it is again. Yes, Iron Sheik, man. Love that guy. Dude, we got a lot of traction on the Iron Sheik, by the way.
Hold it,
Excellent, Bubba. That's the real promoter right there. We got a lot of traction on that. And I think we need to make, we're working on something in the background, but man, we love the legend Iron Sheik. We're going to do an Iron Sheik special. So that is in the works, guys. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribing to the Sif Shop podcast, because if you are an Iron Sheik fan, we got some crazy stories for you guys, crazy road stories. We got to meet the Iron Sheik several times. Like I said, we were at his official ring roast, which was just a debacle, man. That night was insane. So stay tuned for that. Iron Sheik, we love him. Gold Blush, passing away a few years ago, but man, that dude, Absolute legend. Howdy Farm. It's got a WCW section in here, and it's got a WWF section, and then a miscellaneous section. So, lot to cover in here. It's got title histories. I mean, this book is definitely a gem, man. But let's hop into it here. I'm going into the WWF section. This is our WrestleMania special, so I am going to ask you 5 WrestleMania related questions. So, without further ado, Scott, buckle up, buddy. Here we go. What tag team duo, and please pause here, okay? So I want our listeners to have a shot at figuring it out themselves, because I think playing along will be a cool thing, man, kind of like Jeopardy, right? So the question is, what tag team duo did the British Bulldogs defeat at WrestleMania 2 to win the tag team title?
All right.
Now, it is a multiple choice question. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you this question straight up, Scott. If you know the answer, say the answer. Otherwise, if you're on the fence or you don't know, I'll read out the multiple choices for you. How's that sound?
Okay, so you just say WrestleMania 2, correct?
WrestleMania 2.
In my head, I thought you were going to say WrestleMania 3, but so I believe that would be none other than the Dream Team, which was comprised of Brutus Beefcake before he was a barber and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Okay, and that is A was the answer. So you are correct, Scott. It was Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus pre-barber Beefcake. All right, Scott. Good job, bud. 1 for 1 here.
Ozzy Osbourne was accompanying Matilda and the British Bulldogs to that match. I don't think so. Perhaps.
Might have been Vizzy eating a bird, but yes, you could be right, Scott. No, you could definitely be right. I remember Alice Cooper was with Jake Roberts, right? Or was that WrestleMania 1?
Alice Cooper, I believe, was WrestleMania 3.
Shit. Okay. All right. I'm rusty on my early manias here. Definitely. It was definitely Jake Roberts. Because I do remember I was just watching one of those behind the scenes promos with the two of them where they were doing like multiple cuts, multiple takes. Those are always awesome, man. That you can find on YouTube. Cool. Let's jump back into this next question. All right. This comes from WrestleMania XV1 16. Who did
WrestleMania
not
2000,
at one
right?
time?
WrestleMania 2000. That's what we know it as. Okay. Don't call it
Fair
XV1,
enough.
okay? Maybe 16 if you want, but it's WrestleMania 2000, okay?
Fair enough, Scott. All right. Scott's getting fired up here, guys. At WrestleMania 2000, who did not at one time hold the Hardcore Championship belt?
Right,
now, you may need a multiple choice for this. Yes. Okay. So we'll let our listeners have a second here to figure it out after I read these multiple choices. Is it A, Joey Abs? Is it B, Taz? Is it C, Crash Holly? D, Farouk? Or E, Hardcore Holly? Now we'll give our fans a second here.
I thought there was only going to be 4 choices.
Dude, this book is sneaky, brother. I know. There's one of these questions in here. This question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 possible answers in this multiple choice. Who does that?
All right. So you said
8.
who did not hold it at any time at WrestleMania 2000?
Correct. Who did not at one time hold the Hardcore Championship belt? Joey Abs, Taz, Crash Holly, Farouk, or Hardcore Holly?
So I'm between 2. It'll be a 50-50 guess, I think. But
all right, Scott, what do you got for us, bud?
All right, so here's the deal. Hardcore Holly is the one that walks away with the championship, so it's not him. Taz, I do believe, has it at one point. I know they like botched the ending, and I think it was supposed to be Crash Holly leaving with it, but I think Crash Holly at least went into the match with it, so he had to have at least won it at one point. So I'm down to Joey Abs, and I'm down to Farouk. I feel like Pete Gas definitely got it in that match. I just can't recall if another member of the Mean Street Posse did or not. So it's either Joey Abs or Farouk.
You got a guess?
Something's telling me Farouk like held it up for 1 second. I'm trying to picture like Farouk in this era. He's probably like not even wearing tights. It's probably just like no shirt and jeans.
Okay. I was like, what the hell is he wearing then?
No, I'm just saying because it's like a weird transition. Of like when I think of Farouk 2000, I'm thinking of he was Acolytes already, but I don't know if they were APA yet. But he was Acolytes with Bradshaw. I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna say something tells me I don't know. I'm gonna say Joey Abs. That was the first one you said. I see the face. It probably was Farouk, but I'm going with Joey Abs. That was my opinion.
Dude, you were right there. I love, and I hope our listeners appreciate this, but I love the breakdown of like how your brain thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you get to narrow it down? And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that was freaking cool, man. You are wrong. However, you did in fact narrow it. You did narrow it down to the right answer was in there in your final two, man.
So
It
was
was in
Farouk.
fact Farouk.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, you were this close, dude. So you know
I
what?
know, I
We're
know.
not gonna hold that one against you.
Yes, I know had in that match, and I feel like maybe one other member of the Main Street Posse did, which means it would have been Rodney. Well, no, it was Joey Abs.
Rodney.
Sorry.
Joey
So
Abs. Joey
so
Abs. Yeah.
so maybe Rodney was the one that didn't get it in that match then. But yeah, okay. So
Okay.
I'm 1-1 right now.
I told you I was breaking out the big guns, brother. You know what I mean? These are not easy Mania questions here. All right, next one up here, guys. Next question. Who were the last two men in the 20-man over-the-top battle royal at WrestleMania 4?
Okay.
Who were the last two men in the 20-man battle royal at WrestleMania 4? Now, this has 6 multiple choice answers for you. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Do you need them? You don't need them? Wow. All right, then we're going to pause for a cause here. Fans at home, should I read the multiple choice for the fans at home?
Well, I'm curious to know like what they are, but because I want to know the pairings.
Okay.
But
Sure.
I do
Where
here.
logic
If you really want, I will write down my answer just so you know I'm not like changing.
Ooh, I like this. I feel like this is an official trivia contest here now, guys. Official trivia contest. 'Cause Scott participates on these trivia contests on other people's podcasts who do wrestling trivia, and this is how they answer them. They put them on a whiteboard, and then they both hold up the whiteboard at the same time. So you hold on to that, Scott.
Like right there.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That'd be great. So the multiple choice answers, there's 6 of them here, guys. So it's either A, the Junkyard Dog, B, Bret Hart, C, Nikolai Volkov, D, Hall of Famer, now we can say, Bad News Brown, E, Ron Bass, and F, George the Animal Steel.
Oh, see,
so we're looking for 2 guys here. Who are the last?
I thought the multiple choice was going to be like each letter was going to have like 2 names attached to it. So I wanted to see who it paired, but I get how it's working now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So.
They're doing them all on singles here. So who are the last 2 men in the 20-man battle royal at WrestleMania 4? All right. So I think that's been enough time for our listeners. What do you got, Scott?
All right. So one of those was also one of the final 2 at the WrestleMania 2 battle royal. And that'd be Bret Hart along with Bad News Brown.
Bam. Got it, Scott. Nice job, bud. And you wrote that down without even hearing the multiple choice answers. I would have needed the multiple choice answers there, but I feel like I would have gotten that because in my head I do recall that battle royal at WrestleMania 4. So
like 6 foot tall trophy that Bret Hart was so mad about. He thought he had an alliance with Bad News Brown, and then Bret smashed it. And somewhere I have a trading card of Bret smashing that trophy.
Wow. Nice, dude. Yes, I do recall that little angle they did there. And it's interesting because Bad News Brown wrestled up in Calgary Stampede Wrestling in Calgary for old our buddy there, Stu Hart.
Yeah.
Wow, they're gonna stretch him. All right. All right, this is what happens in the latter part of our episodes, guys. It starts to go off the rails here. God bless Stu Hart, man. He was a total legend. Or we like to stretch him though. All right. So the next question here is this. God, I don't know why that's so funny. This question. All right, I'm just gonna read it. Whatever. Here we go. Which were the 2 partners of Hillbilly Jim at WrestleMania 3? WrestleMania 3, who were the 2 partners of Hillbilly Jim? Are you getting the whiteboard?
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
You got to get the whiteboard.
I'm probably going to need to hear the multiple
unless
choices,
you need.
I'm just
okay.
Hey,
you want to give it a shot on the whiteboard? Wow, listen to this guy, this shady bastard. Look at him.
What are you talking about? No.
Oh, he's got guys who if you're listening on the audio version, Sky is talking into his white.
Who was Scott's tag team partner during this trivia contest? First name Siri?
Right. Yeah, trying to talk to Siri. Working us here, guys.
All right, I'm gonna
Write down a
say
couple of
all right,
answers here.
I'm
And
gonna
what's
write it
interesting,
down first, and then I'm gonna you'll see if I end up erasing for a different name, but
okay,
yeah, I'm gonna go with this. I have another name in mind, but I feel like that was on the opposing team. Go ahead. Let me hear how many choices you got? 4.
I only have 4, which is kind of interesting here.
All right, and it's one for each. It's one for each thing. So I bet you it's his 2 partners and then 2 of the opponents. I bet you, which is gonna throw me off. But
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead. Let me. Hopefully, first of all, the 2 names I wrote down are hopefully part of the multiple choice. So let's see.
Cool, man. These were shorter answers than I was expecting here. I thought there was going to be more than 4 here. But it's a little bit shorter than I thought. So the potential answers here are Little Tokyo, the Haiti Kid, C, Lord Little. It says Little Bro here, but I think it's Brooke. So we're going to go with C, Lord Littlebrook, or D, Little Beaver.
Okay, so it's 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I already have to erase one because there's one I wrote down that.
Tell me you didn't write down Dink, brother. Did
I
you
wrote
write down
down
Dink?
Skylo Low.
Skylo Low, I forgot about him.
So I'm gonna leave my first
Wow.
answer. I have
Name
to
I
think of
haven't
this
heard in a
as
while.
who is like in wrestling logic. Okay, Hillbilly Jim was always a babyface as far as I know. So his
I
partner
believe so, yes.
baby faces. So
Yes.
Little Tokyo probably not a babyface.
Yeah,
The Haiti
a
Kid
Hawaiian gimmick there.
maybe a babyface. I don't. Well, so and you said Little Bro, but like the fact that like they wrote it wrong. That was going to be my other one. But if you call yourself Lord, I feel like you're a heel, especially if you're a little heel
Yeah.
and you're calling yourself a Lord. So I feel like he's on the opposite side. So I guess,
Yeah.
like, I got Little Beaver locked in. I guess I'm going to have to say, especially if you say you're a kid. I can't think of anybody that was a kid. Well, no, Dynamite Kid was a heel, right? 1, 2, 3 Kid became a heel. Dynamite Kid was probably babyface first, though. Trying to think of kids, people with the name Kid. Like if your name is a Kid, you're a babyface, right? Because it's like kids, right? I don't know.
All right. I take back what I said about it's very interesting to hear you work through your answers here. I feel like you're spiraling at this point.
I guess they.
So
All right, so I'm locking in Little Beaver and Haiti Kids. Okay.
okay, little Beaver and the Haiti Kid. Scott, that answer is correct.
Let's
But
go.
nice,
Going
dude.
3 and 1 now,
Nice.
huh?
I'm throwing some like real toughies at you here, man, and you're just you're rising to the occasion, man. Definitely rising to the occasion for sure.
You know what though? Lord
Good
Little
job,
Bro would be a
Scott.
great gimmick. You have to trademark that.
Lord Littlebro. I don't know why I swear that it was Lord Littlebrook, right?
Yeah, it definitely was Lord Little Bro.
Yeah, it must have been, I don't know, this publishing company, Winding Stare, I don't think had great editors back in the day. And funny story when you say like people who use the word Lord are heels, my insurance company allows me to pick a, what do they call that? A suffix for your name. And I chose Lord.
Yeah, because you're a big.
So when I sign into my insurance account, it says Lord Timbo Slice or, Lord Tim. Yeah, I pop for that every time. Sometimes I just sign into my insurance website when I don't even really need to, just to see it say Lord Tim.
But I mean, think about it. Lord Steven Regal, right? He was a massive heel.
Great point. Great point.
There was another name I had. There's
And Squire. Squire's another Squire David Taylor, brother.
There was another Lord I was gonna say.
Definitely.
There's another one I'm saving. I wanted to say
Lord Alfred Hayes, brother.
Well, that's the last
But
name
he
I
wasn't
wanted
a
to bring
heel.
up. Well, maybe he was, but we just knew him as like
when he
this
was a
is the most
wrestler.
charming son of a bitch you could ever meet.
He really was a charmer, that Lord Alfred Hayes. In fact, I
feel like
found a
that's
Lord
what
Alfred
got
Hayes
off,
question
but,
in here. I think I found a Lord Alfred Hayes question when I was looking at stuff.
The other name I was thinking of, he was definitely a heel. This would be under the miscellaneous, but Lord Humongous.
Ooh, that's definitely obscure.
Like if you had to name a Glenn Jacobs gimmick that wasn't Kane, Isaac Yankem, or Fake Diesel.
Ooh, that's a question. That's a question in the miscellaneous category. Have you read this book, Gata?
I haven't, but like, is that a WrestleMania question? Because Fake Diesel never wrestled.
I swear to God, I looked it up.
Lord Humongous was Kane, and then what was his other one? Christmas Creature, and also Bruiser Bastino, Matt Machino. I don't know. He had a match against Sting in WCW or something.
Holy obscurity, Batman. I already found it. I flipped to the page. Which of the following character names was not used by Glenn Jacobs? Kane, the Christmas creature, Unabomb,
Oh, that's
Isaac Yankem. Yes, that is another one. Isaac Yankem, the New Diesel, or F. They were all used by Glenn Jacobs.
the answer's F.
The answer's F. I didn't know if he was the Christmas creature or not. What was that? Smoky Mountain? What was that?
I might have been Smoky Mountain, yeah. Oh,
He was Unabomb in Smoky Mountain.
Well,
I
you know
know
what?
that.
Before this airs, you know what? I have a bad feeling. I think I was wrong about something because somebody in the comments is
Bob
gonna shut
Backlund.
it up. No, I think Lord Humongous may have actually not been Kane. Siri just told me that actually might be Sid. That wasn't Siri; it was my own mind. But I think Lord Humongous might actually.
I was gonna say
I'm confident about Bruiser Mastino. I'm probably saying the name wrong, but something like that. Bruiser Mastino.
okay, Machino. Wow, it's too hard like that one. It's Chef Machino in the dungeon.
I'm 3-1. Can I get the last
Really
one?
kicked off. We got last question here. We got to wrap this up. Now you may know this one like right off the jump here, man, but I did not, so I figured I'd throw it your way. Again, these are all like early Mania questions here. WrestleMania 2 again.
I want to at least come on. I would
know.
love
Well-
like a these Mania question. I don't like these early Manias.
You're not
Go
allowed to pick what questions you get, jabroni.
ahead.
Oh,
Who
my
won the
God.
battle royal?
All right, maybe I'll throw you a sixth one from the 90s.
No, you
but
could do the one you were gonna do.
yeah, I am going to do that, all right?
Okay.
All right, next question. WrestleMania 2 took place in Rosemont, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, and what other city?
You gotta name the city.
The city, gotta. I named the cities Rosemont and Los Angeles. What's the third city?
I can name the state. No. So the state, and we're giving our viewers some time here. Well, the state's definitely New York.
Yes.
The city is like if Long Island isn't good enough for you, then I guess I'll just have to say Nassau.
Nassau, New York. That is your answer?
Wait, is Nassau a Coliseum? Is it? So is it just Long Island, New York? Long Island was the whole like block, right? It's not a city.
We're going to... God, man, never thought we'd get into geography on the Stiff Shot podcast, but...
All right, I feel like I'm going to settle on Long Island then.
All right, I'm going to read you the choices here, Goddess, so we can stop spiraling
There's
again.
actually choices. Okay. I swear to God, if Nassau and Long Island are both a choice, don't even make up one. If you make up one and say Nassau, I'm going to be so mad.
God,
I
I should
you know what
totally
we'll
do
do.
this right now. I should totally do this. Okay, so your choices are A, Uniondale, New
Oh.
Jersey.
It actually says New Jersey after.
It actually, man, yeah, it actually is. It is New Jersey. I thought I was going to say New York, you know? Uniondale, New Jersey is A. B is Boston, Massachusetts. C is New York, New York. And D is Baltimore, Maryland.
And E? That's it? Those are the choices?
Bro, that's it, man. Yeah, see, this is where it gets a little tricky.
Those are the choices. That's it. There's only 4 choices.
Scott, I got 4. That's
And
it, brother.
it says Uniondale, New Jersey?
It says, yes, I swear to God, I'm not working yet.
Okay.
It says
It was-
Uniondale, New Jersey.
Okay, so it was New York, but I thought it wasn't the Garden again. The Garden was just 1, 10, and 20.
Controversy creates cash, Scott. I'm not sure if you knew that. And for the record, I did not write these questions, so take it up with Brandon O'Neill if you got a problem, brother.
All right. I don't think it's correct, but I think the answer that they're looking for is New York, New York. So I'll just say that. But I challenge.
Ooh, you challenge. Well, you may need to use that challenge because
so then
this is
you
telling you
know
that the
New
answer is
Jersey,
A.
Like,
He's
it's
so
Uniondale.
tight. You're so tight.
Where's my phone? My phone? Oh, my phone's charging. Hold on. Let me get the.
All right, the trivia contest has officially ended. You can break out your phone now because now I'm freaking curious about this. I have never heard of Uniondale, New Jersey. Uniondale, Long Island, right? Come on, pull up the Siri now. Talking to your jacket there, buddy. This is crazy, man. I didn't think this was gonna spark this much controversy here, guys. We are investigating. Our producer is zero help right now, but Scott is definitely. Scott is looking this up.
Yeah, I
ladies
am.
and
I'm
gentlemen.
scouring the
We
internet.
are going to get to the bottom of this. I picked that one because, I was like, man, this is tricky, and I don't remember this.
Yes, Rosemont Horizon. Yes, Los Angeles, California. And the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Uniondale, New York, not New Jersey.
Do we have a misprint in Mr. O'Neill's book here? We're already spiraling here. I am actually Googling this for myself because I don't trust Big Papa Bump right now.
Inquiries, all questions, go to. We're
Ooh,
gonna hit up the guy
that's
some
great
25
stuff.
years later about Lord Littlebro. 3 pound errors in 2 of them.
God, man, jeez, this is how good we are here, huh? Oh, here's your problem. The Winding Stair Press was in Ontario, Canada. God, unbelievable. Oh, God, this part of Ontario I've never heard of before. Etobicoke? Etobicoke? Again, we do have a lot of international listeners. I shouldn't hate. Perhaps we have some from people from Canada.
It's okay. I'm sure they're very sorry.
Wrestling's huge in Canada, man. Oh my God, are you ready for this gem that I didn't even see in here? Photo credits, brother. Where do you think I'm going with this?
George Napolitano.
Yeah.
Let's go. Mike.
Dude, he's a legend. I said this. This guy's he's a total legend. Oh my God, he's got 2 photo credits in here. Photo credit V11. So I'm guessing that's like towards the beginning here. What a jet. Oh, it's definitely a George Napolitano, brother. Look at that. Ravishing Rick, man. One of my all-time absolute favorites. Ravishing Rick Rude. I mean, the guy was incredible. That's a whole story, that life, man. Holy crap. A lot going on with Rick Rude for sure.
Almost as good as the
Oh, yeah, man. See,
shirt.
yeah, brother. You see this shirt, huh? Look at this thing. Oh, yeah. It's the Butcher from AEW. Pretty intimidating t-shirt if I do say so myself. It's my mustache. Getting back to this, yeah, we got some Napolitano photo creds in this black and white book here. Page 20 also. Let's see what else. What other gem Georges? Man, dude. See, that's why this guy's the absolute best, man. Legend. Look at that, man. Nacho Baric Flair and the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, brother. Love me some Kerry Von Erich too, man. Texas Tornado, dude. Speaking of Rick Rude, Texas Tornado might take the cake for for stories, life stories. But man, we got a lot of different guys we can cover in the podcast here for future episodes because wrestling is a crazy world, man. We love it for sure, but man, the stories that have come out of this business are almost fiction, but they're definitely real. So yeah, a lot more to come there. But yeah, that concludes our trivia round here. I'm going to have to see if old Brandon O'Neill is still around here. I'm going to have to write to him in Ontario to file a formal grievance for some of these trivia answers here, man. I didn't think that this was going to be a botch like that. Uniondale, New Jersey. I'm going to see if that even exists.
You know what you should start doing? We should just start proofreading his book. We should just red Sharpie every mistake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then just send him a copy. So there is a Union Township, New Jersey, but most definitely Uniondale, New York is that's in New York.
It's gonna live 25 years later if he's got a final draft yet, because it's obviously a rough copy.
For sure. But what do you expect? This guy's Canadian, dude. Uniondale, New Jersey. He doesn't know where the hell Uniondale is, dude. He's in Ontario, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I want to also give a special shout out. We had a comment on our Iron Sheik video this week, so I wanted to give some love here. Shout out to Remy X Anarchy. I want to make the point that I personally, he was questioning whether or not, Scott, and I want to get your take on this. If Bob Backlund, if that number that he gave us for steps that he did in an hour and the wheels and all that, man, if that was a work. He's like, man, this is a different, this guy was like, hey, it's a different era. Everything was kayfabe back then. And I don't disagree with him, I guess, right? But I personally watched Bob Backlund do the steps, man. The whole time I was at this outdoor event that he was at, he was stepping the entire fucking time. So if I didn't see that with my own eyes, I'd say, yeah, you know what? This is a work. But I think it's legit, man, that number, that 800 and whatever number we had last week.
100%. I think it's legit. Okay. I think Backlund's just kind of like a.
Okay.
I just think he's like a nut, and not in a super bad way, but he's just he's that crazy that it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like a freak in the when it comes to cardio and in the gym and stuff. He was a little off too, for sure, especially with his gimmick there,
He's just the ultimate type of guy I can think of probably in the business that's like a no nonsense, no shortcut kind of guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, work hard and you'll get far, right? Like the old American dream when it was a thing, back in the 70s when Backlund was around. But yeah, a total clean cut baby face there. But I definitely wanted to talk with you about that comment because like we were saying earlier, everything's a work, right? I do think that was a shoot number for sure. Just knowing Bob Backlund and what a machine that guy was. Cool, guys. Keep the comments coming for sure. We love them, appreciate the love from you guys as well. And we'll bring up comments on the episode. So if you guys see some of our shorts or you're watching the long form podcast, please leave a comment, man. We read every single one of those, and we will put some of those on air and talk about it because so far some of them have been pretty thought provoking. Even from our international audience, our domestic audience, it's great, guys. We're already growing, which is fantastic. Glad you guys are entertained, and like I said, keep them coming for sure.
Yes, thank you.
So we are definitely up against time here. So this was our 2.0 episode here for our WrestleMania special, kind of an offshoot of our previously released episode. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining us this evening. Thank you to my man, Big Papa Bump, Scott, Mr. WrestleMania over here this past weekend. It's Showcase of the Immortals live, giving us all the scoop in Las Vegas, what he did, what there was to do, debauchery, stadium swims, giant TV screens, autograph signings, meet and greet, you name it. We covered it in this episode. So I hope you guys were entertained. If you were, please give us a like, follow, share, all those good things on your favorite social media platform. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We are on TikTok. So check those shorts out. Hopefully you guys are entertained by them. We're entertained just doing this together, guys. So this has been a whole lot of fun. We got a lot more in our back pocket for you. So stay tuned to the Stiff Shop Podcast. We are available everywhere at the Stiff Shop Pod on all your favorite social media platforms. So thank you guys for joining us for this WrestleMania special. I'm Timbo Slice. That's Big Papa Bump. And we will see you on the flip side.
Next
Good night,
episode,
everybody.
WrestleMania 42 card breaks. Let's go.
Break 'em, brother.